Hello everyone, my name is Gabby, and let's talk about video games. So as you might have been able to tell from my profile picture, I am a massive Pokemon fan and Nintendo fan. And it is currently the month of June, and every video game fan knows what June means. It means E3 is coming up. For those of you who don't know what E3 is, it's basically the video games conference, whatever. Basically, where all of the big announcements that Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo go and announce for pretty much the holiday season this year, they announce it at E3. And that's why it's really, really important. When I was younger, I was always, really excited for E3, pretty much counting down the days, because it's always really fun to look at E3, because it announces all the really interesting new games that are coming up in the next few months. And so I was just thinking, you know what, I'm going to go and talk about my hopes for E3 2015. So first of all, what I really want to see, and honestly the most important thing that I want to see in E3 this time, is I want to see games that really prove this generation of gaming. I'm sure everyone knows that this console generation didn't really go up to a very good start. The Wii U lagged in sales a bit and didn't really have a killer app. The Xbox One and PS4 also had the problems of not really having a killer app. And even now, the Wii U is still lagging in sales, and pretty much every hyped game for the PS4 and Xbox One that came out this year, last year, with the exception of maybe like Bloodborne, were either like overhyped or just didn't work, or were just really disappointments. And I feel like it was the point that the companies were trying to sell us next gen, but they never really did sell us next gen, because everything they said they were going to hype up, and they said these are going to be like the new generation. We've got new graphics, we've got new gameplay styles, we've got new everything. They all turned out they didn't meet expectations, and that was just a real problem. So what I want to see games that can really prove that this generation has more power to do things and can have new gameplay experiences. Just something that's new and interesting. And by that, I'm definitely saying I don't care too much about HD remakes or remasters or anything. And I know that happens a lot. And especially because PS4 and Xbox One aren't backwards compatible. So that's going to be happening. HD remakes are going to be happening a lot more often now. But I don't like those. I mean, they're fun, I guess, but can we please make new games and stop concentrating on trying to capture the nostalgia of old games? Especially when these games only came out like 5 years ago, or even less. Sometimes they were just games that were just released on PS3 and Xbox 360, and now they're being released on PS4 and Xbox One. So yeah, I want games that just capture imagination. I want to see innovation. We're really lacking with that in the games industry right now. I mean, we've got indies, obviously, but indies don't have the big stages on E3 or the press conferences. The indies just make games when they feel like it, and then start making Kickstarters if they decide that they want to make a new game. And now let's just go to Nintendo, because honestly, they're the guys I really care more about. I mean, there are some games I care about, like Kingdom Hearts 3, I want to know about that, and maybe honestly, that's kind of it. I guess I don't really... and Uncharted 4, I'm sort of interested in that. But besides those, yeah, I'm just really interested about Nintendo. See, the problem about Nintendo has been going on recently is that, yeah, they've been in a bit of an awkward transition in that, like, now that they've finally got a main console that can do a lot of the things that the other consoles can do, and now they're just sort of like they're finally trying to understand how this DLC business works, and they're just in this weird awkward transition. And I think that's why a lot of Smash Brothers was great, and Splatoon also seems really great. I'm going to get that soon, I think. Not yet, because I've got some stuff to do, and I don't want it to distract me. But, I just want Nintendo to... I want them to, actually show me games that get me really excited, and not just check games that get me really excited because, old IPs. I want more new IPs. That's a pretty obvious thing. And, everyone wants that. Obviously, it's a lot harder to do because you have to come up with an original concept, and it's a lot easier to use established characters because they sell more. But the problem with the last few Nintendo conferences is a lot of the time I haven't felt in Nintendo games for the past few years, I haven't really felt that same sort of, I don't know, magic that I felt when I was playing like Super Mario Galaxy for the first time. See, while I did enjoy like Super Mario 3D World and some of the games like that, yeah, but Mario especially, while I loved those games, they weren't the same as, say, Super Mario Galaxy. That game blew my mind when I played it for the first time. And while the new games for Wii U have been fun, not many of them have been able to capture my imagination in the same way those old ones did. Of course, it could just be because I'm becoming a cynical adult and now games just can't capture me in the same way. But I don't think that's the case. I think it's just the problem is they're focusing a lot on gameplay, and I want them to spend... While this might sound counterintuitive, I wish they spent like less time on the gameplay, and I just want them to have like an experience. That's especially my hopes for the new Zelda game as well. I want the games to be an experience, the same sort of experiences that I used to have as a kid when I was playing these games. Because they happened, and those experiences happened also, yeah, because of the story, because of the aesthetics, just some things that weren't even related to the overall gameplay. That might sound a bit strange to some of you guys, because after all, gameplay is the most important thing, and if your gameplay is crap, then the rest of your game is going to just fall apart. But I feel like the things other than gameplay, those are the things that can pretty much sort of turn a game from, you could say, from a 8.5 to a 10. Something that's just more. I want something more than just playing fun levels. You know what I mean? Is that sound stupid? I don't know. So I was thinking about trying to do like some kind of predictions for what Nintendo is doing in E3, but honestly Nintendo has been doing things they don't really like making like really elaborate surprises anymore, so it's not such a big deal that if I don't really know what's going to happen, because I think I can predict a lot of it. Like, there's going to be some stuff about like the new Star Fox game, and then there's going to be some obvious ones, like things about Mario Maker, things about amiibos, things about more amiibos coming up in the future, things about just Nintendo random things in general. I'm pretty sure we've heard that there isn't going to be anything about that NX in this E3, and honestly I feel like that kind of thing is more just judging on what the NX seems to be. I think that's more of a like sort of big press conference thing, not really a for the gamers thing. But what I'm trying to say is I don't want say like Nintendo making more HD remakes of their games. I mean, we've already had it with like Wind Waker and Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time. Okay, those ones aren't exactly HD, but they are remakes. And I don't know, there's a whole bunch of other ones, and I feel like Nintendo might be doing that because they can get a lot of money from that, but I don't want them to do that because I want them to focus on new games. Because if we want to play the old games, we have the Virtual Console. We don't need to keep re-releasing them. You know what I mean? I really just want Nintendo to try and recapture my imagination. I want to feel like you're making games that are new experiences, not just rehashing your old classics. Also, I want you to try and finally solve the amiibo problem. I am not an amiibo collector. I only have one. It's the Link amiibo that is just, it's around there. You can't really see it. It's sort of blending in with my books. I've only got one amiibo, but honestly, I've heard the amiibo collection things are going crazy, and Nintendo, okay, yeah, first of all, I do kind of want you to make more amiibos because they're pretty freaking awesome, and I still want to, yeah, but the problem is, of course, the availability. Like, I really want to get a Rosalina one, but I am not going online for that. I am sorry. The only time I'm going to get a Rosalina amiibo is if I see it in a store. And that is not going to happen, and that has not happened, so that has been a bit of a shame. But yeah, I actually do want to see more amiibos, because they all look really cool, and especially the Splatoon ones have showed us that they are looking really good now, and like Nintendo was a totally great toy manufacturer. I'm sorry, they're actually really good at this. So yeah, more amiibos. Yeah, in all honesty, I don't really know what else Nintendo can do, because I'm just saying I want Nintendo to do something big, something that I can't predict, and that's the main point. I don't know, yeah, I don't know what it should be. It should be something good. It should be something that captures my imagination. And also, yeah, more importantly, it should be something that proves that this generation can have new experiences. We have just been a bit stagnant with just evolution in general, stagnant in innovation. I think it just shows that out of the past like few all the good games that came out this year, pretty much, and last year, they were all just like foundations of previous IPs. None of them being new. You know, things like The Witcher 3 or like I don't know, like Borderlands or yeah, Assassin's Creed, and they're all just old franchises, and I'm like, guys, please, can we do something new? And also, can we do something that isn't, you know, crazy market tested? Some things that aren't just like, you know, maybe more female characters. And oh god, I mentioned the F word. There is going to be a lot of hate now. I should change quickly. Go, abort. So yeah, maybe just different kinds of experiences. Some things that are new, things that you can't get anywhere else, things that show that this generation of games, these consoles are powerful, use that power, and I don't just mean use that power to make more different pixels. Use that power to make unique gameplay. That is how games evolve. And that is how the games industry will evolve. Otherwise, it is going to just stagnate eventually if you just keep reusing everything. I don't know. Well, maybe it won't. Maybe it's still, Call of Duty is still popular. But if there is a games crash eventually, we pretty much just all blame it on just stagnation and lack of innovation. But then again, with Kickstarters and indie games, that might happen, that might not happen at all. So that'll be pretty good. I do want to make sure that the games industry stays going for like all the time because it's amazing. I don't want games to go out of business. I don't want Nintendo to go bankrupt. I don't want them to go the way of Sega. So those were my predictions for E3. Yeah, I know there is kind of a rant there, but yeah, basically what I'm saying is, yeah, I just want something new. I want something, and I don't want, say, return of a franchise that came back 10 years ago, or even 15 or 20 years ago. I'm saying I want new franchise. Just something that I wouldn't have seen, and something that I couldn't have thought about in my imagination. So basically, the more surprised I am, the better. And that's all I had to talk about. So, Scabby, and bye guys.